On the morning of March 11, 2012, a jogger spotted pools of blood near the Jordan River in Utah. Shortly after, police recovered the body of 15-year-old Annie Kaspersak from the water. The investigation was immediate, but the evidence was contradictory. Annie's parents found a note in her bedroom stating that she was pregnant and had left for California. Her 14-year-old boyfriend, Chris Bagshaw, provided a different explanation for physical evidence. When detectives noticed blood on his shoe, he told them Annie had simply had a nosebleed while they were visiting a friend. Within the first 24 hours, the case was already bogged down by these human narratives, conflicting stories that would stall the truth for years. The search for the killer stopped completely when a woman named Joanna Franklin contacted the police. She was facing charges for credit card theft and offered information about the murder in exchange for a plea deal. Joanna claimed she had personally witnessed the murder, naming an older convicted felon and a mysterious gang member called LJ as the killers. Her story was so detailed that police spent an entire year tracking these phantom suspects, using informants and surveillance to find a man who did not exist. When investigators finally realized Joanna had fabricated the entire story using details from news reports, they were back at square one. In this investigation, every person with a story to tell also had a motive to hide the truth. The shift in the case came from the lab. DNA results from the home where Joanna claimed the murder happened didn't match Annie's. Detectives decided to discard the conflicting witness statements and focus strictly on the objective data footprint left behind by everyone involved. Annie's phone records showed multiple harassing calls from a blocked number that continued right up to the hour of her death. Police subpoenaed the service providers to unmask the raw data behind that blocked caller ID. Unlike suspects or witnesses, digital logs provide a record of behavior that doesn't change based on who is asking the questions. The record showed that the blocked number belonged to a second phone owned by Chris Bagshaw. Chris had known about Annie's fictional LJ persona and used that name to create a digital shadow, framing a person who didn't exist. This data mapping visualizes how Chris used the LJ alias to maintain contact with Annie during her final hours. Investigators then pulled Chris's text history with his friend Spencer to verify the story about the nosebleed. The recovered texts showed Chris explicitly telling Spencer to lie to the police about the blood on his shoe so he wouldn't be blamed. By tracing the communication flow, detectives were able to dismantle Chris's physical misdirection piece by piece. Chris still had one major pillar supporting his defense: his family's claim that he was asleep at his grandmother's house during the murder. To test this, police used cell tower triangulation. This process maps the location of a device based on which network towers it connects to. The location data showed Chris's phone moving out of his grandmother's neighborhood and into the sector containing the Jordan River. When Annie's mother frantically called Chris to ask where her daughter was, he answered. The tower data placed him right at the river bridge at the moment of the murder. The location data removed any remaining room for Chris to maintain his timeline. Faced with the digital evidence, Chris Bagshaw eventually provided a full confession. He admitted to hitting Annie with a shovel because he believed the rumors she had spread about being pregnant with his child. It took 2 years to reach this conclusion, finally piercing through a massive wall of fabricated stories. Because of the premeditation and the brutality of the crime, the state tried the teenager as an adult. Darwin Christopher Bagshaw pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to 15 years to life. Chris was able to manipulate human witnesses and exploit rumors for over a year, but he could never outsmart the silent, permanent record of his own digital footprint.